what I know you've told this story in many other interviews, but for the fans here, how was it when you got the role? How did you get the role? All that. Take us through the story.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story, but I'll tell you.
Sure.
So I moved out to Los Angeles in 1987. I was going to school previously at Boston University. I was studying political science. I knew I wanted to begin my acting career, and I figured, you either have to go to New York or you have to go to LA. And it was easier to starve where the sun was out. And so I decided to go to LA, and I enrolled at UCLA to finish my political science degree. I was home in my little town of Newcastle, Pennsylvania, in Western Pennsylvania. And I had studied karate for years there. And my Sensei William Stoner, eventually joined Shihan Fumio Demura's school, which was a much bigger school that was based in California. And Sensei Demura was Pat Morita's stunt double. Okay.
Cool.
And so he told me, he said, Sean, they're gonna have this audition for the new bad guy in Karate Kid 3, and I know you want to be an actor, and you should audition for it. And I remember I was home. I was hanging out like on the stoop at a sort of gas station convenient mart. My friends and I used to always go. We'd stay up late, and we just talk. And they were home from college, and so I told them about this audition, and I said, I'm gonna go to this audition, and I'm gonna get this part. And to their credit, my friends, didn't laugh at me. They were really supportive and believed that that was possible. So they did an open call, and an open call or a cattle call is basically when anybody who wants to audition can audition. Okay, so everyone had to line up outside the studio. I think there were probably, I don't know, there were probably like 1,500, 2,000 people there.
Jesus.
And yeah, and John Avildsen, who had won the Academy Award for Rocky, who had directed the first two Karate Kids, was making his way up this long serpentine line of hopefuls with he had his first AD Cliff Coleman with him. John always carried like a little video camera with him, and I knew that I would have literally 2 or 3 seconds to try and make contact with this guy, get him to stop and talk to me and see what happened. And as he was making his way up to me, I honestly don't remember what I did, but I got him to stop, and he said, okay, let's do a little improv. And he kind of asked me to intimidate him. And I did. And he said, okay, I believe that. And he sent me inside to the studio. And once I got inside the studio, it was like a 3-ring circus. I'm on a sound stage. There's all of these media outlets, everyone from like Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood, all those sort of things.
Wow.
The reason was this thing was a publicity stunt. I mean, that's not how Hollywood and the film business works. That we're gonna leave it to an open call of people that many of whom were not even actors. They were like, martial arts enthusiasts of the film, etc. But they thought it would generate good publicity going into the third installment of the film. I don't think they ever anticipated casting this role from this open call. Well, there's Ralph Macchio. They had created there's a set, and there's Ralph Macchio, and I mean, again, surreal. It's hard for it was hard for me to stay grounded, and not get caught up in the circus that I found myself in. So they put me on the this set with Ralph Macchio, and they asked me to do a scene with them. It wasn't a spoken scene. They just asked me to, again, kind of intimidate him, and so I did. I kind of key-eyed and threw a downward block and backed him into a corner, and he was like, "All right, call him off." And he probably thought I was nuts. I mean, and I knew it went well. Like, I knew that they had some interest in me, and they unfortunately hired somebody else. So they hired this other guy.
Really? I didn't know that.
And I am crushed. Some guy named I think the guy's name was Daryl, not Daryl Vidal,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
named Daryl. And for one reason or another, it didn't work out. And they called me back like a week later, and in that week I was crushed. I mean, I was honestly really at a very low point. And when they called me back and they said, we need you to get to the studio immediately. And I lived up on Sunset Boulevard. And I'm in my car and I'm driving through traffic to get to Burbank, where the studio is.
Mm.
And I knew that it had to be a good thing. You know, they don't call you back to say, hey, we didn't give you the part twice.
Yeah.
I figured,
Right.
okay, there's like a buddy, there's like a, you know what I mean, some small role. Maybe I got a shot at it. And I'll never forget, I'm driving, and to the left side of me up in the hills, I see the Hollywood sign. And, you know, there's something actors, we always say, you know, depending on what's going on in your career, sometimes the Hollywood sign seems to be, you know, smiling at you, and sometimes it seems to be smirking at you. And that day, the sign was definitely smiling at me. I showed up, um, went to the executive producer's office. John Avildsen was there. Robert Mark Kamen, who wrote the Karate Kid films, who went on to write Taken and so many mega hits, was there. Robert was a martial artist himself. He kind of put me through a couple, you know, fairly simple moves. He just wanted to see what kind of technique I had. And literally within 20 minutes of showing up in that office, they sent me to wardrobe and told me rehearsal starts tomorrow. Fight choreo. I mean, my head was spinning. I mean, this was a major studio movie. I mean, I had never
Yeah.
done anything
Yeah.
of this size. And another story that sort of precedes this is the day before the open call, I found out who the casting director was. Now, I had done a couple roles on television. I had my SAG card, and I went to the casting director's office and I said, "Look, I said, I'm a real actor. Can I audition for you here and not have to go to this?" And she said, "No."
Yeah.
So, you know, I tried to circumvent the whole cattle call thing, and it didn't work. But yeah, within 20 minutes, I was getting, you know, papers signed, and it was just like my head spun. And by the next day, I was a part of the cast. It was
Jeez.
real. And so the second part of the story is that we've been filming for about 2 weeks, and we broke for Christmas, and I started having some pretty significant pain in my left leg.